Let's talk about three important tips that can help your communication with someone who's living with dementia or has mild cognitive impairment. There are certain phrases that we should avoid bringing in conversation when we're talking with someone in dementia. So, the tip number one is do not use the words or do not start your sentence with, "Hey, do you remember?" So, like, do you remember when we went for a walk and saw this bird or did this thing? Or do you remember when we went to somebody's house or went to a restaurant? Start instead say, "Hey, remember when we did all these things and we ate this food or it was so fun?" Because the minute you say, "Do you remember?" and it's they cannot remember that event that happened, even though it happened just a few days ago, it brings them anxiety and they're like, "Hey," and sometimes they get agitated. It's like, "Why can't I remember this thing? It just happened." So instead of just starting your question with "Do you," just go along with, "Hey, remember when?" The second most important tip is that you probably know that somebody who has dementia and sometimes somebody who's developing mild cognitive impairment, they tend to repeat themselves. So they will say the same thing over and over again, or every time you call them, they repeat the same event or something that happened to them, and they will tell you again. And even though they've told you multiple times before. So in this case scenario, do not tell them that they're repeating themselves. Do not say that, "Hey, you just told me this thing like so many times ago, so many times just like in the last few days," or, "Hey, I've heard this from you." Just don't say that. Just listen to them what they're saying. Let them repeat themselves. Just answer as if you're hearing it for the first time and be patient, and that will go a long way in your communication with someone with dementia. The third most important tip is that try to live in their reality. Sometimes they will talk to you about events or things that happened many, many years ago or that happened in their childhood. They will describe you these things as if they're happening right now, or they will talk about people that have died many years ago, but they will be talking about them as in present tense. So, in that case, just please remember that you should not be correcting them. You should not tell them that, "Hey, you're wrong, this didn't happen." Just listen to them, try to live in their reality. Even if they're talking about somebody who died many years ago, just do not tell them that that person is dead, because what happens is that they might, for them it might be the first time that they're hearing that that loved one or that person who's their friend died, and that will make them grieve that person as if it's the first time they're grieving them. So just like these few simple tips can make your communication with someone who has dementia or MCI much better.